Celts, when they would talk about genius, which was a big topic, they never spoke of someone being a genius, but rather that you have a genius. So Albert Einstein was not a genius. He had genius, a genius. So it's the same word that the genus of the word, like genie, like a genie in a bottle. Genius. And we all have genius. And it's just that we don't always get cozy with our genius. But when we see it, we know it. We know it on sight, we know it, and we feel it. When we see someone who is with their genius, we're like, they're a genius. Right? And so Prince, we lost Prince last week, Purple One, right? And for all the amazing good that he did in the world, humbly and without asking for recognition, what he really did, and I think this is why so many people feel this this little bit of a hole in the fabric right now, because when we see someone who has come together with their genius, there's this deep inherent part of us that knows that actually we all have that. But when we feel and see and witness someone with their genius, and then that genius is gone, we know it because we feel it. And what we're really feeling is the loss of our own, the loss of having not sometimes been tapped into ours. And so it's interesting because often I have a friend who is always talking about these downloads from beyond that come. And I'm a big believer in those things. And believe totally and wholeheartedly that if we open up, we will often get downloaded with insight and information and things that we sort of couldn't possibly know on the one hand. And this is to open up, and we really soften ourselves and open up to receive the muse, to receive the white goddess, to receive Alwyn. But even before we can do that, we actually have to drop in and drop down. And as we drop down, then what happens is there's also a creative uprising. And this in yoga, the word for it is sahaja. And it's the uprising of intuition and inner wisdom and spontaneous outpouring. Like you often see on stage with someone who's really like zoned in. And so we drop down into ourselves, into this deep, deep amount of trust that we have done the work, right? We've practiced. We don't just, Princess didn't just pick up the guitar and all of a sudden that, right? There's all that practice. So you drop down and you into, yes, there's wisdom. This body is innately wise. If only I'll drop in and listen to her. And at the same time, when we drop down into that and we get into this place of a deep comfort of our own innate wisdom and inner knowledge and the ability for this uprising, that allows us to soften and soften the ego and to soften and open up and receive then what might also flow through. And so you do the work, and then you drop down into the work, and then you open up for your genius to come. And when those two happen together, the uprising of Sahaja and the downpouring of your genius, magic. And we all have it, but we feel it when we've seen it, and then we think it's gone. But it's not gone, it's just you have your own. And so today we'll practice dropping in, rising up, downloading with our geniuses. So take a moment and close your eyes.